Well, here comes the first Premier League contribution for Aaron Ramsdale in the colours of Newcastle United. And Newcastle are going to further delay here by making a flurry of substitutes. Thiago to give Brentford the lead. Thiago takes, sends Ramsdale. Brentford have come from behind to lead. With 12 minutes left to play, it is Brentford 2, Newcastle 1.
Well, they've made nearly all the running in this second half, Brentford. Whatever he was told didn't come to pass. Clearly, here goes Thiago has hit it both sides in his time, perhaps, because Ramsdale thought he was going the other way, but great comeback this from the Bees.
The smile of satisfaction on a second half that has seen them turn a one-goal deficit into a one-goal lead. And a smile that lights up a dull November afternoon in West London from the Brazilian Igor Thiago.
Well, this is how it's going on the road for Newcastle. But they haven't been good enough going forward. Pure and simple, they have not done enough.
If you were taking a penalty and you had to wait 5 minutes and 38 seconds, that's a pretty cool finish, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, and what a good signing he's turning out to be. Not just with his goals, he's his overall player. He's a handful.
Very good afternoon for Aston Villa at home against Bournemouth. They look to have made the points safe. Ross Barkley with his first Premier League goal of the season, heading what is surely the goal to make sure of 3 points. Newcastle looking to repair this second half damage. They look to Hall. Ball to Mada, not allowed to bring it down. Newcastle feel there may have been a hand in there. Not sure the referee Stuart Atwell in the VAR will see anything in there to look at. When we have that under control, he's presented it to Thiago. Igor Thiago, still Igor Thiago. And right at the last thing, slip Botman to deny him.
Well, somebody had to tackle him. They were backing off, backing off.
Brentford changes for the final push. Matthias Jensen and Vitaly Janelt will come on with some freshness to the midfield area. Yarmoliuk and Damsgaard, the two trudging off on this near side.
Some good experience, hasn't he, Keith Andrews, from the bench. Been about a good while now at Brentford.
Both at times full international players and both happy to play supporting roles, part of the team collective here that has brought success over the recent seasons. Willock. Ball. Ramsey. And Kane Henderson freshen up the midfield, but the 35-year-old still key to their plans of seeing this one through and picking up 3 points. Ball still running strong, going low. And that was a brilliant goal line intervention there from Rico Henry.
That was incredible how he didn't put it in his own net there. right under the crossbar. Brilliant defending. And Lewis Hall really just pinged it in. Elanga's right behind him. Top stuff.
Trippier with the corner. Ouattara rose at the near post. Trippier again. Thiago to head away. Head of Chow. Callagher unsure, so punches it away. In the build-up to that attack that saw the goal line clearance from Rico Henry. Coyote's challenge has been penalised with a yellow card. Here it is. Newcastle's 10 having a good go here. Elanga, Trippier, Hall, stolen by Jensen. Hall repairs the damage, finds Elanga, Trippier. Botman has stayed forward. Voltemada, an obvious target in the middle. Trippier to deliver. Out by Vandenberg. Schade. Guimaraes hangs it up between Khabib Callagher. Reece Nelson's going to come on here for Brentford. And it's Ouattara who's going to be withdrawn. Not before he has a good run at Lewis Hall. He's too far ahead of Igor Thiago. The word is trickling through that we're going to have double digits of added time on at the end of this match. So still plenty of time for Newcastle.
There'll be some win for Brentford this. Having got a goal down.
Showing a different side of that character if they can see the job through. The number 11 is held up, and that's not to signify Reece Nelson is about to come on. That's how much time is tagged on.
Home crowd don't like it.
Hall. Whatever the result was, got to see Lewis Hall playing again. Featured for the full England national team, but injuries disrupted the last 6 months or so for him. Up goes the number 11 again, this time to signify the withdrawal of Dango Ouattara and the introduction of Reece Nelson. Well, this is the game's big talking point, isn't it?
Well, he's turned the match around, Ouattara. Over on that right-hand side, attacking Dan Burn. When you need a cool head, Thiago provides one. And it might just get all 3 points, but still time for some more drama here.
Reece Nelson started
And that's his first goal for Forest. And then Morgan Gibbs-White with the second, Jamie.
Yeah, he's been questioned a lot this season on the back of the bad form. He's seen as the star player in the team, so sometimes that comes on you, but he's got a goal. I think he missed a penalty midweek as well. And I think his celebration said it all. He had the fingers in his ears as well, so maybe he's been a little bit of disquiet from the Forest fans. But this was the penalty late on. Jack Harrison just gets involved with Hutchinson, and then that was game over.
Yeah, Amari Hutchinson, who actually set up Morgan Gibbs-White for the second, wins the penalty for the third, and Elliot Anderson dispatches that, and Nottingham Forest beat Leeds by 3-1, and that closes the gap on the teams above them. Villa have won this afternoon, dispatching Bournemouth by 4-0, and those goals are next.
G-O-A-T, you can be the greatest of all time.
Sponsored by Bet365.
So in a world of footballers trying to be the solution, what do? Football's got enough heroes.
Sky Bet Super Sub. Just because their game is up doesn't mean yours is. With Sky Bet Super Sub, your bet stays in play, even if your player doesn't. Get a completely free bet with Build-A-Bet to use on Man City v Liverpool this Sunday. Keep your bet in the game. Sky Bet, for the fans.
He's got that in his armoury, there's no doubt about that, but Anana, sometimes not quite sure whether he's got this in his armoury, goes from outside the box. We definitely know he's got the celebration. He seems to celebrate an awful lot when he doesn't score, but Bournemouth had the chance to get back in it. Great save, Ashley.
Yeah, it was a great save by Emi Martinez, and you know he's got that a lot. You know, he keeps them in the game. It could be different, but you know, they then get a set piece, and you see they score from the corner there with Ross Barkley.
2 set pieces. The set piece king. We keep going to the image of him on the bench.
So strictly speaking, 3 set pieces if we include Buendia as well. So Villa beat Bournemouth by 4 goals to 0. Palace and Brighton ended goalless at Selhurst, and we still have one more game to come. Manchester City and Liverpool meet at the Etihad. Arsenal drew at Sunderland last night, so an opportunity for either of these two with a win to close the gap on Mikel Arteta's side.
Bet365 are putting the power in your hands.
With their best ever bet builder, you can create your own unique bet from thousands of markets. And at Bet365, if
Dropping the 2 points and see it as an opportunity to get 3 points and get yourself up in the table. So they have gone for settled teams that they've used in the last weeks, and I think they'll be looking for them teams to produce the goods.
For Liverpool, it's been, hasn't it, this week? Go back to what you know.
Yeah, it has been. There's been talk about, Liverpool sort of being back. It was 2 games. I think the Villa game they went amazing, but got the job done, won, played really well against Real Madrid. But, like for either team, we're saying they're back to the normal selves. Whoever loses today, that will not be the narrative over the next 2 weeks.
Ashley, thank you for this afternoon. Jamie back from 7:30 for Super Sunday Extra Time, where we'll run through all the games from today, have loads more reaction and analysis. But now, time to get to the Etihad for the big one with Gary Neville and Peter Drury.
Thank you, good afternoon. A day at the Etihad of seriously big business, of course, but first also clearly of tribute.
Let's go, boys, come
Match
on!
itself of great import. But as the players emerge here, Haaland on the cusp of 100 in the Premier League. The number at the top of most minds is 1,000. Manchester City Football Club exhibits its love and esteem for Pep Guardiola. Today, 1,000 games into a managerial career of mammoth generational significance. And how perfect that the occasion is marked by a visit from Liverpool, alongside, of course, Real Madrid, the defining rival of Pep's epic era. For nigh on a decade now, this has been English football's elite feud. Only this time there is a third party out in front. City and Liverpool joust today to become the principal chaser. So here is the 1,000th team sheet to which Pep Guardiola has put his signature. Gigi Donnarumma, a haunting presence for Liverpool, whom he defied, of course, in last season's Champions League. It is the same 11 as last Sunday. Ruben Dias back in at centre-half. For now, John Stones appears a European specialist. Phil Foden, brilliant in midweek, is England's again. No one has played more of Pep's first 1,000 than Bernardo Silva. It's been a fabulous week for Ryan Cherki, a gorgeous goal against Dortmund off 2 smart assists against Bournemouth for the seemingly limitless Erling Haaland. So just one change from last weekend, Oscar Bob for Rodri on the Manchester City bench. It's little surprise to anyone that with a 5-day gap, Arne Slot picks the same team that was so good against Real Madrid. Successive clean sheets for Mamardashvili. Alisson may be back by the end of the month. Conor Bradley excelled against Real Madrid, and on the other side is Andy Robertson again, regardless of substantial recent workload. Alexis McAllister floats into this after Tuesday's glamour goal. Dominic Szoboszlai laid that on as Florian Wirtz found his feet on the left side of the creative unit. Ugo Ekitike continues up top with Alexander Isak easing back gently. Isak is on the bench, likewise, notably, of course, Gakpo and again Milos Kerkez.
Bit of fighting. The Great War is finally over. Each year we take a moment to remember those who fought in both the world wars, those who have served since and those that continue to serve in our armed forces, offering the ultimate sacrifice for our freedoms.
We reflect with gratitude and admiration on all of those who have given their lives for our freedom.
And Arne Slot.
The ceremony is led by Pep Guardiola and Arne Slot.
They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun, and in the morning, we will remember them.
Games 25 have come against Liverpool, as big a thorn in his flesh as any opponent he has regularly faced. Last season, Arne Slot beat him twice. So there was the Leicester miracle a decade ago, Conte's Chelsea a year later, and since then only these two. An 8-year duopoly. City the serial champions, Liverpool the reigning champions. Right now 7 and 8 points behind Arsenal, whose minor Wearside slip last night is a delicious tease for this. So which of the big dogs pounces? How are you feeling about it, Gary?
Well, just looking at which of these two teams can try and push themselves into a position closest to Arsenal. Off the back of that draw last night, Arsenal have been formidable recently. These two inconsistent, but there is an opportunity here.
Regardless of that autumnal inconsistency from these two mighty teams, that they do come face to face with each other, having found each of them some recent flow and rhythm. And Doku's finding his rhythm. And Wirtz and Robertson.
Well, he did well, Doku. He carried Wirtz 80 yards down the pitch with him.
Made successive games in League Cup, Champions League and Premier League, Doku. Changing at centre-half.
Yeah, it seems like an obvious thing to say, but how well both centre-backs handle Ekitike and Haaland is going to be absolutely crucial. Van Dijk and Konate against Haaland, and Diaz and Gvardiol against the Liverpool striker.
Same City team that beat Bournemouth a week ago. It's not often that City are unchanged week on week. And the same Liverpool team that beat Real Madrid with such apparent certainty at Anfield on Tuesday night. Two and a half years since Manchester City beat Liverpool. 2 seasons ago, a couple of 1-1 draws last year. Liverpool completed their first double over City for most of a decade. There's Bernardo Silva. So to the head of Tijani Reinders.
Yeah, Liverpool really compact. 5 or 6 players there centrally, just ready to pounce.
O'Reilly's back in the England squad. Cherki, so watchable last week, and again bouncing off the bench midweek. Van Dijk. Robertson again for quite a stretch now. He's Liverpool's first pick left back. Conor Bradley, who if he dips in might still find Vinicius Junior in his pocket. O'Reilly's gone flying. Gravenberch's the offender.
Yeah, it's a good start for him in his battle against Salah. Takes it off the Liverpool wide player and then just strides forward.
Terrific week for him, one of 3 uncapped players in Thomas Tuchel's latest England squad. Alongside Joel Quansah and Alex Scott, who we saw play so very well for Bournemouth on this ground a week ago. Bernardo Silva. Diaz. Nunes. Comfortable for Van Dijk. puts it out of play. Nunes. Robertson for Wirtz. Dealing off the left flank again, as he did so successfully in midweek. Foden. Doku. Seeking to expose Bradley and to play in Phil Foden. Just escaped him.
Oh, it's a brilliant pass for Doku, and he's frustrated, Phil Foden, and he should be. It was always going to be a challenge if he did control it, but that's the one thing that you would have expected him to do, take this into his path and try and get Virgil van Dijk one-on-one. He just takes his eye off the ball, doesn't he?
In midweek produced two of the most delicious finishes you could imagine. He's missed an England camp, he won't miss the next one. And there are only two more before the big squad is named. Tike's let it bounce and Salah's looking to dart in here. Salah is denied a clean look at goal. The fast retreating Diaz.
If those City defenders thought that Mo Salah had lost a yard of pace, they've just been reminded he can still run.
He's snapping in. Guardiola stood his ground. Szoboszlai has it back. Whistle's gone. Doku on the dash. Konate across to help Bradley. Doku's got past them both. And Jeremy Doku stumbled. And Ryan Cherky had two cracks at it. Szoboszlai laid down in front of him. And Liverpool's lines are cleared.
Well, it was certainly clumsy by the goalkeeper. The Manchester City fans around us, they think it should be a penalty. Is he worried? Let's have a look. He does really well, actually, Conor Bradley, initially. It's Konate that confuses him by coming across. Let's have a look at this. It's difficult to see from that angle.
Mike.
Yeah, I think from my angle, the first contact by the goalkeeper is not on the foot. The knee just touches the boot. I think, if I'm being perfectly honest with the way he's caught him, his knee's caught his foot. For me, it will get reviewed and go to a penalty kick, in my opinion.
It is indeed being reviewed. Chris Kavanagh has come to the screen on the advice of Michael Oliver.
Well, he comes out, spreads himself, the goalkeeper, goes to ground, and then it is that left knee, as you said, Mike, that just takes Doku off balance.
Yeah, I think if he doesn't touch his knee, Doku's left foot plants normally, and has a shot on goal. That knocks him off balance, so for me, I think Chris will award a penalty kick.
Chris Kavanagh is requiring several looks at this.
Well, he will do if he's getting a view like we are, because it's a little bit stuttery, the video replay, but he's going to give a penalty.
After review, the goalkeeper creates a foul challenge on the attacker. Final decision is penalty.
It is a Manchester City penalty.
Well, it's a mess for Liverpool. Arne Slot's just challenging the fourth official, but Kanate comes across and starts the issue. And Mamardashvili finishes it off.
It is City's first penalty of this Premier League season to this point. All 20 of their goals have been scored from open play. Erling Haaland has more than a lion's share of those. And it has certainly lit the blue touch paper on what was always likely to be a sparky afternoon. And the big fella has taken possession of the football. Three goals against Liverpool in his past. Entrenched in the scoring habit. Erling Haaland is denied by Mamardashvili.
Oh, and he rightly gets the congratulations. Haaland stunned. Oh, they're saying he maybe come off the line. Oh, he's off the line early.
Well, it was a terrific reach.
Well, the one thing I would say was he got there really early, didn't he, the goalkeeper? He was waiting for it. Does he just step forward early, Mike?
Yeah, I mean, the foot's just behind the line. I think what the VR was looking at is the players that encroach, were they in the air to clear the ball before the ball came back in place. It's a correct decision all round.
Robertson away, McAllister onto it. City try to come again. The first blemish perhaps on Erling Haaland's magnificent season to this point. From the perspective of Mamardashvili, though, what a defining moment that is in his new Liverpool life. To deprive Erling Haaland of what would have been his 99th Premier League goal.
And you think about how hard Haaland hits the ball, for him to get there and down as quickly as he did. Brilliant anticipation from the goalkeeper.
A goalkeeper whose Premier League life, of course, has begun with the Estevao moment at Chelsea, the Maguire moment against Manchester United, awkward game down at Brentford, but now successive clean sheets against Villa and Real Madrid. And having conceded a penalty, he has now saved it from the world's form striker. Who is not impressed by himself.
I don't know whether he was not impressed with himself or whether he can't believe that the goalkeeper has got into the corner as quickly as he did.
Doku slid through towards Bernardo Silva. Across comes Van Dijk, who sent the big Dutchman spinning.
Yeah, penalty aside, City have been the better team in this first 15 minutes. We've seen Foden nearly go through. We've just seen Bernardo Silva nearly go through, but he slipped, which helped Van Dijk get back.
Well, it's tended to be like this for him against Liverpool. Nothing comes easily. Certainly up there alongside Real Madrid as his principal career rivals. Liverpool have beaten him 10 times, only Spurs have beaten him as many.
Yeah, Liverpool haven't got going yet. City settled down a lot quicker in this game.
Dijk has clattered it back. First involvement really for Donnarumma. Goalkeepers have
been surprisingly changing in this standout fixture over the last year or so. 6 different goalkeepers in the 3 most recent Premier League meetings. Kelleher and Ortega at Anfield last December, then Ederson and Alisson, now Donnarumma and Mahmudashvili. Of course, it was Donnarumma's penalties in last year's Champions League that hurt Liverpool so much. Konate. Away from behind Salah. Lent upon by Haaland. Foden gathered possession, sifting it out here for Doku, who can drive at Bradley. And it came to Chucky! His shot is deflected away and behind for a corner.
He couldn't get it out of his feet. City down that left-hand side through Doku again. He just puts it into a really good area in between the defence and midfield. It's almost like tries to get back. Just tries to dig it out. It's just there under his feet and he can't get it out of his feet quickly enough, and it allows Konate to get the block in. But they're asking for trouble here, Liverpool.
Foden to float it in. Konate away from beneath his crossbar. Nico Gonzalez behind.
Just watching the game and thinking about how it's going so far, and he's having far too much of the ball. Whether that's something that's been designed by Manchester City to leave him on it, but it felt like an age, and they are leaving him on it, and it's causing Liverpool a problem. He needs to shift it away from himself quicker.
Ravenberg.
And then they just winning it back very easily, City, off the back of him.
They're looking to pounce. And he has come up with the ball.
Watch Haaland, he's just going towards Van Dijk and saying, "You're not having it, let the other guy have it." And City are going off that.
Flick from Wirtz. Robertson gives it him back, and Wirtz has green grass to run into. Ekitike ahead of him, but he couldn't measure the pass. Still it breaks for Ekitike. Chucky on the cover, Robertson. McAllister. Konate. Conor Bradley. Sellers on his bike. O'Reilly is stuck with him. Gravenberg. Bradley's gone beyond him. Same for McAllister. Salah. And Szoboszlai. Nunes partially clear. Bradley's still involved. Anywhere would do for Bernardo Silva. He's played now 421 of Pep Guardiola's first 1,000 games. He is at the head of that esteemed list. Well, here they all are, 1,000 games for Pep Guardiola. You can pick your favourite moment, the 4 in a row, the 100-point season, the treble, champions of Europe, champions of the world, and that is leaving aside everything he did at Barca and Bayern beforehand. One of the things people often say of him is how would he cope if he was at a club not at the very top of its game, without the very finest players? Well, he did win the Spanish 4th Division with Barcelona B in 2007-8.
Oh, it's an incredible career.
The 39th member of the LMA's 1,000 Club, which includes, funnily enough, 4 other men who have managed Manchester City. Steve Coppell, Sven-Göran Eriksson, Brian Horton and Joe Royle. And Matt Busby and Mick McCarthy, who both played for them.
Looks like his right calf. There he goes, just calf raising to see whether it's a pain that's going to go away for him. Just there maybe as he sets off on that right side.
And of course, from a personal perspective, this would be cruel if he had picked up a substantial problem. Back into the England squad as mentioned. Played one game at left back, Miles Lewis-Skelly played the other. He would hope possibly that there is a first cap waiting for him over the course of the next fortnight.
Yeah, I've had quite a lot of calf strains myself. But when you're younger, you think you can maybe run it off. Unlikely.
Still looks as though he wants to have an interest in the game when he's invited back. Fernando's taken the hit now. Well, Arne Slot is the only manager who has a 100% winning record against Pep Guardiola over more than one game, having done the double last season. And let that roll out. And here's a City throw. Gonzalez. Guardiola, he's moving okay. Gonzalez. Bernardo Silva. Yes. Foden playing again with his chest puffed out, as he does at his best. Bernardo Silva.
It's been a bit of a struggle this first 25 minutes to get any quality in the game. Liverpool have come with a real sort of defensive mindset, very compact. You can tell that they've worked in the last couple of days on how they're going to approach this, and it's certainly to nullify City in this first half, and they've done that to an extent. The penalty was something that was caused by themselves.
Liverpool's form on the road, of course, has not been good. They have lost their last 3 Premier League away games. as well as losing a Champions League game in Istanbul over that period. Just a 5-1 romp in Frankfurt to give them pleasure on the road. And there's defending to do again here. It's Doku. Away from Bradley. Jeremy Doku! Celebrating.
I think the goalkeeper got a touch. Whether he needed to or not is another matter, but he couldn't take a chance. I mean, he's just a handful, Doku, isn't he? I mean, he does quite well, Conor Bradley, and he sticks at it, but then he gets wrestled to the ground, and Gravenberch gets across to help him. I don't think it was going in.
Check his corner. Konate away. Doku. Foden. Beaten off it by Salah. Salah's beaten off it by Diaz. Doku. Virtus hauled back at collar height by Nico Gonzalez.
Yeah, he's done well there, Bertz, because one of his teammates were around him. He looked up. He had no option but to go himself, and he does. And Nico Gonzalez. Standard yellow card.
Soboslai. Bradley. Up towards Ekitike, seen okay by Guardiol. He's penned in by Salah. This escape route. He's done well. Foden. Doku. He's done well. City have wriggled out of a tight corner here. Cherky, that's terrific.
Brilliant play, that.
Matheus Nunes. Bernardo Silva. Nunes. Diaz. Nunes. Holland's up! One way or another, he always impacts. Manchester City lead Liverpool. And that matters.
And it's deserved. Liverpool have played without confidence. Manchester City have been encouraged by that. He's missed a penalty, but he's not missed this time. It's quite a simple goal. That Liverpool compact shape, as we can see, leaving the full-back free, but Nunes just thinks, well, you're not coming out and closing me down. I'll whip it in. I actually think that it clips off, it does, it clips off Konate's head. And he can't know much about this Erling Haaland, because I think it's a double click. Just watch the, yeah, there, and he just sort of, well, he's there, Haaland, it hits him. And when you looks in,
For City's number 9, it's 99 in the Premier League. That, at the end of a 20-pass Manchester City move from tight to the corner flag at their own end.
Well, I was just thinking, over in that far corner, Nico O'Reilly started that move, and he never really should have got out of there with Foden. It was brilliant play, and it's ended up with a goal. His team have been by far the better team in this first 30 minutes. Liverpool have been really lacking in confidence and authority. It's as if they've come for a point.
Cherki, here he is again. Erling Haaland and Doku. It's the waiting arms of Mamardashvili.
He's been a constant threat.
Bradley. Salah. Wirtz. Liverpool look to get a toe hold in it. Driven against Gonzalez, followed up by Konate.
Yeah, they've got to start playing.
Robertson. O'Reilly. Given away by Cherki. Here's Soboslai. TK dispossessed by Diaz. Gonzalez. Cherki. Touched by two in red.
Well, he's having got Robertson, Van Dijk, and telling him to get tight to Nunes. He just sweeps his legs. I think he's saying to him maybe get tighter, not just because of that one, but because of the goal. Nunes was just stuck out there and thought, well, no one's near me, I might as well just whip it in. But all the Liverpool players are very narrow, and the fullbacks are being asked to get out towards the fullbacks of City.
Doku. O'Reilly. Let it escape him, and Liverpool have a cheap throw in here. Liverpool beat City in last season's first meeting at Anfield, 1st of December. That was the 13th game of last Premier League campaign. It took them 9 points clear of Arsenal. If they were to lose here today in the 11th game of the season, they would be 8 behind. There's an hour's football still to play. Mamardashvili's gone long. TK couldn't make it stick.
He's got a bit of thinking to do. It's almost as if his team have worked on what to do without the ball and concentrated on the defensive shape, but they've gone out there and they forgot to play. They really have. I've not seen Liverpool as poor as this in possession. I have to say the tactics of City to leave Konate with the ball have worked brilliantly.
Doku slip away from McAllister, who has tripped him, and the card's out. This is McAllister in the book.
He's been brilliant, Doku.
This is McAllister, who, in common with many Liverpool players, had a wonderful game midweek and, of course, scored for him what will be a memorable goal. And Doku couldn't find Nunes. Robertson can look the other way. It's like Canister went over. Robertson. That's Nunes. A very assured presence in that right-back berth for Manchester City. Which wasn't, of course, originally seemingly designed for him. Soboslai. It's for Salah. There's Salah into corner.
Outing for Liverpool into City's defensive third. It allows Konate and Van Dijk. They need something. Van Dijk giving them the team talk.
They spread from that huddle. Van Dijk on the penalty spot, as is his wont. And Salah delivers. Van Dijk scores!
It's a great header.
A plan immaculately executed. Liverpool's captain made it happen. Except that there is a VAR check. Andy Robertson, the would-be guilty party.
Well, they've worked it well. They've isolated Van Dijk, and you see Robertson is to the left of Donnarumma. I'm not sure, you know. I'm not convinced he's ever getting near that. I'm not sure he's impeded in terms of his view either.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you there, Guy. The only thing I would say is because he's in the 6-yard area, in the penalty area, I think with him being near enough in front of the keeper as he heads the ball,
but
the on-field
Peter,
decision's offside.
right.
It's been given on-field as offside, and it's offside decision. I think with him being inside the actual penalty area, it has to be offside.
I think he's outside the line of the goalkeeper. I think the goalkeeper gets a clear view. I mean, you know the rules better than I do, but you see Robertson there. Van Dijk's got a clear. He can see it. He's got no position that he can stop. I think he's right to be fuming at Arne Slot.
Yeah, I see where you're coming from, but I think the way the law's written now, with him being so close to the goalkeeper in the penalty area there, in the goal area, he has to be given offside. Anderson's ducked out of the way in an offside position, and so for me, I fully agree with the assistant referee, and it is offside.
Was there not a goal a couple of weeks ago that was something similar to that? I don't know. I just think that Donnarumma's got a clear view of the ball. Robertson's
Bernardo Silva and Nico Gonzalez of Manchester City's midfield with a yellow card against their names. McAllister, seen by O'Reilly, chased up here by Soboslai.
He's offside, eh?
Salah's on the dash, no flag yet. It's Mo Salah, it's Florian Wirtz. Diaz, set back for McAllister. By Guardiola and further clear from Foden.
Oh.
Bashford keen to join in. That's why you're a goalkeeper. Doku.
I mean, Conor Bradley, fresh off that brilliant game he had against Real Madrid. He's having a real tough battle out there on that far side.
Gonzalez, and it's cannoned away and behind for another corner. Diaz and Haaland both in the goalkeeper's space. Looking to nick it on.
Well, it's a good ball into the box. Nunez has no option in the end. He doesn't get closed down, so he just crosses it in, and Canati just tries to sort of glance it away over the top of Haaland's head, but he just puts it right into Haaland's, I think it's the side of his face.
And it is the very sort of goal that would bring joy to Pep Guardiola, purist as he is. We are told that every single City player, outfield player, had a touch of the ball as they carried it from one end of the field to the other. His record on this ground this season is remarkable. Spurs won here, but since then, 2 each against United, Burnley, Everton and Bournemouth. 1 here now. Last man to score twice at home, 5 Premier League games in a row was one Luis Suarez. For today's opponents. By Canati and out of play.
This is where the goal started from.
Nunez.
They're playing well though, City. Really are. Liverpool look leggy as well, by the way. Physically, they look well off it.
Into 7 extra minutes. Here's Jeremy Doku. Doubling up with his full-back.
Look at Liverpool, they're just walking for a rest. So light them, look at them. Really sluggish. Big game in midweek. Think about City playing out in that far corner and how Liverpool would ordinarily press. They would not let teams out. As good as City are, they would be all over them like a rash. Really, physically, great place right now.
Silva darting. Cherky. Nunes. Nunes. Ryan Cherky. Such poise and balance. And he ran on the pitch.
Yeah, there's still 5 or 6 minutes left, and if I was City, I'd be going for that second goal to try and kill the game.
Throw from Mahmoud. City have it back, and here they come again.
Yeah, I would just go for it now, smell blood, because Liverpool are in a poor place at this point.
Bernardo Silva, Ryan Cherky, problem for Robertson. That's in the way.
Liverpool just need to get to half-time. He needs to get them to half-time.
Manchester City in charge and in pursuit of a second goal that would underline that. Foden's corner, Haaland's flick. Came out to Jeremy Doku. Squeezed away by Van Dijk. And Manchester City have yet one more set piece.
Nice shot one.
Cherky was switched on. Silva. Nico Gonzalez! 2-0! Drilled and deflected. And Manchester City in a very good place.
Well, sometimes you get a smell in a football match that a team are waiting to get beaten, they're asking to get beaten, and they are getting beaten. Their legs have gone, Liverpool, in this last 10 minutes. Really clear for everybody. They can't get out. They just cannot get out. It's so poor. And Van Dijk, I mean, he just stands there and lets it hit him. Really strange. Just that little movement of his right leg kills his goalkeeper. And Manchester City, as I said, they absolutely should do. Go and win the game, it's there. And they might have just gone and done it.
For Nico Gonzalez, the first goal of the season on behalf of the 1,000-man. And Pep Guardiola has indeed spoken so fondly of him this week in the context of Rodri's ongoing absence. And he's described him as an immensely coachable player, a player who's learning the Rodri role on the job, and who has added a goal to that role here, which inches City back closer towards the summit of the Premier League and leaves Liverpool in an awkward spot.
That'd be really good, City. As bad as Liverpool have been, and it's the worst I've seen them for a long time, a really worrying performance that in the first half. City have been excellent.
Robertson, Wirtz.
We've lost every single battle one-on-one, every single one of them.
Haaland, Doku. Doku, he's left Bradley behind here, and Bradley's done very well to bite back.
Yeah, he's the only one, Bradley, that I could look at in the first half for Liverpool and say that he's stuck to his task. And he's probably had the most difficult task, because Doku's been fantastic. As for the rest of them, we've still got a couple of minutes left here.
Cherky's take. And over Erling Haaland.
I think he'll have to consider making substitutions. I'm not talking about one or two, maybe three. We need some freshness out there on the pitch. The dynamic of this game needs to really change. And they've passed it back so many times to him.
It's seconds. And, Robertson, touchdown from McAllister, seen out by Diaz, reclaimed by Gravenberg. It's half-time, and quite a half, which began lamentably for Erling Haaland, who had a penalty saved by Mamardashvili, the goalkeeper, having indeed been the culprit that led to that spot kick. But Haaland would have his way, establishing a lead with a big boy header just before the half hour, 1-0. The argument is around Van Dijk's offside goal, for which Andy Robertson was the perceived culprit. There will be argument, and indeed there is argument, with Chris Kavanagh around that. And then in stoppage time, Nico Gonzalez with a strike from the edge of the penalty area that nicked off Van Dijk and brought us a half-time scoreline in the rain at the Etihad of City 2, Liverpool 0. For whom? You wonder.
I think Shirky, probably. Doku can't come off. Ireland's not going to come off, obviously. I think the midfield would stay stable.
It is Shirky. He's had a very good week. Creator and in one Champions League moment, executioner too. It's as though he's reluctant to be withdrawn.
He is being replaced by number 26, Savinho.
Savinho off the bench for the fourth time this Premier League season.
It's probably where Phil Foden would place it if he was asking for an ideal position for a free kick.
Phil Foden into the wall. Doku. Constant tease. Clear of Salah. Scooped in by Silva, that's lovely. Savinho. Liverpool can't afford to concede next. Savinho's got a box full of tricks as well. He's preparing another set piece. For Foden, he's going forward, found it with his feet. And there's last man back, Bernardo Silva. Doku, between a pair of them, he is such fun today. He's warmly got to the goalkeeper.
Well, it's not as if he's got a one-on-one, because every time he gets the ball now, there's two over. They can't stop him even with two. Outstanding dribbling performance from Doku.
Blasting in. Free kick, no card.
Didn't get booked for that?
No, he didn't.
I'm surprised.
Went flying, nothing more than a free kick against Josko Gvardiol.
Yeah, it should have been a yellow card.
Kirkesh about to come on. Robertson has held on to the left-back berth from the start, 4 games running, but with 35 minutes of this one still to get through. Replaced by his successor in that role. And no joy for Ekitike on the day. Cody Gakpo replaces him, so it's going to be a rejig here. There'll be 1 or 2 different contenders to play through the middle for Liverpool. We'll see who it is. Kirkesh. Mentioned this in the context of Bournemouth's game here last weekend, but Milos Kirkesh for Bournemouth against Manchester City last season set up 2 goals. Down on the south coast when Bournemouth beat City. Form against them. Soboslai. Wits. Bradley, and that has skewed up onto the roof of the net by Nico Gonzalez.
He's getting the high fives. He's also breathing a huge sigh of relief because he didn't know where that was going at all. Hurts, I think, has gone centrally. Gakpo out on the left after substitutions. Ekitike's gone off, and Van Dijk continues to whisper to his teammates.
Wirtz in vertical Manchester rain. Counted away by Savinho. Fetched by Ravenberg. Dashfully. Van Dijk is still forward, and he's won his header, but it's Cody Gakpo to drive at Diaz. Gakpo, McAllister, Bradley, Salah, Conor Bradley, and Cody Gakpo has levered it over.
That's a great move, it's a big chance. Just that little underlap from Conor Bradley just puts it into a dangerous area. He's just got to concentrate, Gakpo. It's a difficult angle, but he should have done better.
Konate, Ravenberg.
Obviously, Peter, if Liverpool get a goal, the atmosphere changes, and you feel this next 5 or 10 minutes is absolutely crucial because Liverpool are starting to feel something here.
Gakpo with drive, Kirkesh wins a corner. A little tilt in the dynamic, but the offside flag takes a little bit of wind out of the red sail. But there's a greater purpose since half-time. Liverpool, remember, have scored in 44 consecutive Premier League games. 60 weeks and a day since last they failed to do so. Bradley, Salah. Towards Gakpo, who will struggle to catch that up. International fortnight for the Dutch. Those on show here today. They should be World Cup finalists by the end of it all. Goes for the Portuguese. Doku. Bernardo Silva. Guardiola was caught on it, and Wirtz has threaded it through. Salah couldn't take it with him. And the flag was up.
It's just getting a little bit scruffy for City. Guardiola, Gonzalez getting caught.
Diaz making his point. Kirkesh.
Started to win the ball back higher up the pitch.
for Gonzalez. That's a lovely spread. There's a good deal of space here for Nico O'Reilly. Jeremy Doku. Doku!
Wow.
Oh, glorious! It's a simply beautiful goal from Jeremy Doku, who has glittered the afternoon long. His name is in lights.
Oh, it's dazzling from Doku. I've never given the man of the match out after 62 minutes. But I think I will do today because he's been absolutely sensational. And this is the bit that you always think he might be missing, that final piece. But he delivers, and if he can start doing this more often and on a consistent basis, you have something really, really special. Kanate comes out to him, he's absolutely no chance. He can't shift his legs quickly enough, so it's a free hit. And it's just whether he can set it out into that far corner. And he does. And it's what he deserves out of his performance today.
On days like this, Jeremy Doku truly is a showbiz footballer, and orchestrated by the great showbiz boss that is Pep Guardiola. He drinks in the adulation. He scored, didn't he, a beautiful goal in the Champions League, a dribbler's goal against Napoli. He got one in the League Cup down at Swansea, but he hasn't scored in the Premier League, funnily enough, Jeremy Doku, since getting 1 of 6 against Ipswich in January here.
Well, it was such an important period in the game. You felt something was going to give. Liverpool were going to get back into it, or City were going to go and get them on the counter-attack. City just delivered.
Good snatch by Gravenberch. Salah. Have Liverpool got any sort of riposte? Wirtz. Broken up by Foden.
He's just been left on the floor, Wirtz. Been a tough day for him, to say the least. He's physically found it very difficult. He's been out-muscled quite a lot.
Minutes to play, and City able to luxuriate here.
It's just about managing the game now, keeping the ball, being sensible in everything that you do. Give it to him.
Well, the inconvenience in Kanate. He's dealt with it okay. Gravenberch's got nowhere to go but back. A 2-1 defeat at Crystal Palace, a 2-1 defeat at Chelsea, a 3-2 defeat at Brentford. 3 conceded on the road again. And the champions are going to be a little way off the pace, unless they can conjure something pretty special in the last quarter of this game.
I actually think they've been better in the second half, but what you can't do is put a performance like they did in the first half against Manchester City in a game that's so important. Thinking about whoever wins today as being the team that can get closest to Arsenal, put pressure on them. try and stay on their shoulder going into February, March on that title running. Liverpool, it's a major blow, this. I actually fancied them before the game. Badly wrong.
Point, of course, for the Van Dijk goal that wasn't. A big contentious moment in the first half. Turn the direction of the game.
Yeah, I think the problem is the more that this game goes on, the less I think Liverpool will feel entitled to actually complain about it. I think they'll realise that there are more structural problems than a refereeing decision or a VAR call. When you get beat 3-0, you don't start whinging about a disallowed goal. And currently they are, so they've got to try and change that to give themselves a right to have a whinge.
Stayed close to him throughout. Gets close to him again now.
Well, Nico O'Reilly's done a good job on Mo Salah.
First half, good young left backs. England have 2 or 3. Here's Gakpo. McAllister. Havenberg. Soboslai. Now Doku can spread his wings again. Soboslai gave him a nudge. He has played with Elvis hips today. He's got a frill, tipping the shoulder, wiggling the hip.
Yeah, he's not a guaranteed starter. He can be quite unpredictable, erratic at times. As I said before, Peter, on his day, he's unplayable.
Here's Savinho.
Against a few players like Doku in my time, and it's almost one of those players you need to stay away from. Almost don't try and commit a challenge. Let him do his wizardry and let him cross it if you have to. Just stay away from him. I think when you get closer, try and take it off him and it becomes a bit of a physical battle. I think players like that will do you and get on top of you. You've almost got to just drop your ego as a defender and manage him in that way.
Stabs it, Foden helps it on. Away from Doku that time. And now Salah can try and go again. Only jockeying and getting his work done once more. Soboslai across. This was taking the expense of a corner. Watch again, of course. Van Dijk advances. Marmoush is ready to come on for Manchester City, which means I think that Jeremy Doku may shortly take his bow. But first this set piece. Again, but he's offside.
Yeah, standing ovation all around us. This is a moment from his performance. What a day he's had.
Gentle embrace, the introduction of the Egyptian, Salah's international teammate, of course, and Alexis McAllister has given way to Curtis Jones in Liverpool's mid. Still biting. Taken away from Jones by Nunes, who just gets on the charge. Puts it up for Erling Haaland, kept at bay by Konate. Haaland, Marmoush, Bradley. Jones comes. Sobersley, Salah to take on O'Reilly again. He got a toe on it. Sobersley. With depth. Fitz. Kirkish. Salah. And Sobersley finds a really good save, because Sobersley caught that all.
Great hit. It's a sweet strike. Sobersley.
Been as forceful as any Liverpool player going forwards. The corner. Bradley taken off Salah's toe. He goes back for more, and now the flag's gone up.
It's Haaland who gets the first header. They put it back in, but he's an offside in there.
the last Premier League game before the international break. We return from it with a really good weekend for you. City go to Newcastle for Saturday night football. Leeds Villa at lunchtime. It is at the Emirates. And then we have a Monday night football as well. Manchester United against Everton. With Gary Neville being back, the Gary Neville podcast is back this week as well. We'll record it after this game. Here's Cody Gakpo. Liverpool have out by Gonzalez. Bradley cushions it ahead of Van Dijk. Got a touch on it. Rumor fell on it.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure whether he was trying to control it or put it across the goal.
So Liverpool 12 minutes away, potentially for the Premier League blank for the first time since last September. And they have had just one shot on target in the game. Turkish with the header forward. Salah's after it. Mo Salah's in for Liverpool. And steers it the wrong side.
I was actually thinking a few minutes ago when Salah was struggling one-on-one with Nico O'Reilly. Sometimes when you're playing against a young defender, the best way to get them is the run off the ball on the inside. Just that run there, very difficult to mark. And he just can't bring it back, Salah. He gets it past the giant goalkeeper.
13 goals against Manchester City in his Liverpool career, 9 of those in the Premier League. He tends to make merry in this game. Not so apparently this time. Home and away, he scored against them last year as Liverpool did a double. 4 games without defeat by City. Liverpool are staring down the barrel here. It's Kirkes. Donnarumma, some sort of contortion prevented that from going behind.
Yeah, he has to just react and adjust and then...
Don't try that at home, it'll be an A&E. Nunes. Savinho. Whoosh. Salah. He looks a shade disconsolate. And the slot is going to make another change. Joe Gomez is waiting to come on. Minutes or so of defeat at Brentford, 25th of October. And it's a bit glum amongst the red scarf wearers.
Yeah, they'll be worried, Liverpool fans. I think there's a huge amount of optimism around the transfer window and the players that have been signed, but it's just not quite happening yet, and this is a big disappointment today.
Foden. It's opened up here for Nico O'Reilly.
Cramp as that calf. Just hits across it and slices it.
So, 2 Liverpool changes. Chiesa for Wirtz is one of those. And Conor Bradley, after a heavy recent workload and some tip-top performance, gives way for the last 10 minutes or so here to Joe Gomez. Nico O'Reilly is certainly feeling it. Chiesa. Now the flag goes up against Salah. The day he took charge of his first game with Barcelona B, Sven's Manchester City lost 1-0 to a Benny McCarthy goal at Blackburn. Mike Dean sent off 2 guy and Richard Dunn. It's all about you.
Never changes, mate, never changes. Stars you mean to go on.
He could play as well, you know. 35 years ago next month, Johan Cruyff gave him his La Liga debut in a 2-0 win against Cadiz. In a midfield with Goycochea and Baquero and Michael Laudrup. Chicky Stan up top. What an extraordinary football life. Sobersley. Van Dijk. Gurkish. Sobersley. Steal from Diaz. City will be, assuming they win this, within 4 points of Arsenal at the top. Back off the international break to a visit to Newcastle. Champions League game against Bayer Leverkusen, then Leeds, Fulham, Sunderland all in a row. Before Real Madrid come here. Marmoush. Marmoush at Kanate. Nico O'Reilly. And a good old Larrop at it.
He's still soldiering on, Nico O'Reilly.
So the big picture questions, Gary, are obviously going to be asked off the back of this, the extent to which Liverpool are or are not out of it. The extent to which City are very much back in it. What is the ripple off this result as far as you're concerned?
I think in Pep Guardiola's 1000th game, it will give City some confidence that they can be the closest challengers, and that if they can just stay in the game with Arsenal, I think that's what Pep Guardiola will be thinking. I want to be on Mikel Arteta's shoulder, breathing down his neck coming into March, and let's see how you handle that running. I think from a Liverpool perspective, I think it's been a month of shock in just terms of performance levels. That first half was extremely worrying. I mean, they've recovered slightly in the second half and they've been better, but in a game of such magnitude, to lack confidence and authority in the way in which they played, it's almost as if they forgot to play and they just were concentrating on their defensive shape and stopping Manchester City, and it's been a really bad day for him. Need the international break just to reset.
So the reset was at least in the playing party today. There was never a suggestion that he was absolutely up to full power. Perhaps the next fortnight will enable them to get there. Graham Potter's in charge of Sweden now. Savinho got a little nudge on halfway. Treating Curtis Jones. And Jones's boots.
Savinho sharp. For Liverpool, the more they get these disappointing results, the more that Arne Slot looks like he doesn't know his strongest side, and he's flip-flopping in between players. He's just done a great job at Liverpool.
And there's his former assistant, who's sitting on the right side of the divide today, Pepe Reinders. Not his former assistant, the former Liverpool assistant in the days of Klopp.
For Slot, he's got the issue of Salah, Isak, Ekitike, Gakpo, Wirtz, and how that five fits into three or maximum four.
3-minute stoppage time. Haaland needs a single for a century, but he's played it through instead here for Omar Marmoush.
Haaland's pass there looked like the classic send him a bit wider, so he has to cross it for me.
Gone down, holding his face. Chris Kavanagh has a card out. And he has shown it to Szoboszlai.
Yeah, Szoboszlai just gives him one.
Takes him to within one of a ban. It's all getting a bit giddy in here. Why wouldn't it? This is, from the perspective of City supporters, a bit of a we're back day. Foden to crown it. Didn't really catch it. Well, you announced your player of the match about 3/4 of an hour ago, Gary. So do it again.
It's him. Yeah, and he's been named man of the match in the stadium as well, not just by me, but his goal, his involvement in everything that Manchester City have done going forward, most touches in the box, most dribbles completed, a constant threat, and fully deserved.
What a lovely smile. A guy who has really enjoyed his day at work. So excelled on the Champions League stage midweek today, have found the big occasion has simply eluded them. For Manchester City, it is a celebratory day. 1,000 games in, and Pep is still winning the big ones. And he won this one big. Erling Haaland had missed a penalty by the time he established the lead with a trademark header of his. Thereafter, Van Dijk, having been deprived by a debatable offside call, Gonzalez made it 2, and then the delicious Doku came up with the goal of the game. He was the player of the game, and City, in the end, Gary, won it at a canter.
Yeah, and today was about which of these two teams and clubs were going to emerge as the nearest challengers, and could they send a message to Arsenal? And Pep Guardiola in his 1000th game and his team have done just that. A really good day for him as he celebrates once he gets away from Andy Robertson, who gives him a hug. But a difficult day for Arne Slot at Liverpool, but great day for City.
City have beaten Liverpool for the first time in 2.5 years. They are right on Arsenal's shoulder. 11 games in, the champions are 8 points off the pace. Pep's 716th win out of 1,000. And for him, this Liverpool will always be a special one. City 3, Liverpool 0. Dave.
Peter, Gary, thank you very much. And not many of the meetings between these two, for either side, have been as straightforward as it was for City this afternoon. Micah Richards, how significant do you think that is for City today?
I think it's very, especially for the confidence. Going into the game today, I didn't know how it was going to go. I was intrigued by it. Liverpool were good enough in the first half, better in the second half. But that man on your screen there, Doku, was scintillating. I think he's taking his game to the next level now. In terms of his goal, the way he took it, how many times have we seen him go down blind alleys and then make the wrong pass, but he's got that conviction now. I just thought City, to a man today, were all very good. They all knew the jobs. Very comfortable. I thought it was going to be difficult for them in the middle of the park, starting with Foden and a Shirky, but it wasn't the case at all. Liverpool couldn't deal with them, and it's a really impressive performance from the City team.
Does it send out a message, Daniel, do you think?
Most definitely. You know, I felt like they tactically outdid Liverpool today. The way they pressed was magnificent. They caused big problems for Liverpool's build-up. Then we talk about the performances of the Liverpool players. I think they were miles off what they used to be, what they're used to playing. You know, if they're honest with themselves going home, they're going to know that they've not played to their level. They're going to know that they could have done a lot better tonight. But I think Manchester City were absolutely magnificent, and they mark it up.
Would it be, it's obviously a great result for Manchester City on a special day for Pep Guardiola, Roy, but would it be worrying for Liverpool, who came into this really as fellow contenders for the title, hunting down Arsenal right now, how easy it was for City?
At this moment in time, you can't be considering even Liverpool for the league title. That's 5 losses now. The type of goals they're giving away. People keep talking about their attacking players, but defensively they're all over the place. The amount of goals they're giving up. This would be feel like the worst defeat. Some of the other games they lost, it was last minute, it was tight games, but that one was a sore one. I know Gary mentioned a commentary, in the second half Liverpool were a bit better. That's because the game was over. City eased off then. But this reminded me of City of old, and some of the players now have got 60, 70 games under the belt, who've been at the club even only a few months. looks like it's coming together. And Liverpool have picked up the last few games, but that was a home. Different animal come to Man City, and City are outstanding.
Do they look like genuine contenders to you then, Roy?
Who, City?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think City are certainly back in the mix. I think Arsenal would have been looking at that and thinking, do you know what, the signs are good for Man City.
You agree with that, Daniel?
Yeah, most definitely. They look like a real good outfit again. You know, we talked about in the past, we talked about Rodri being out and that midfield area being an area that needs shoring up. And I think Nico Gonzalez, Bernardo Silva, Foden today, all three of them were magnificent. Hats off to the manager for setting his team up how he did, because I felt as if that they gave Liverpool problems they weren't expecting. I saw, you know, Arne Slot talking about the teams they've faced, giving them the things they would have expected in Aston Villa and Real Madrid. But today I think the way Pep's put this team out and allowed for Doku to have areas where he can exploit the defence was, you know, you just have to take your hat off to the manager and say, great job tonight.
He certainly looks to be rejuvenated, doesn't he? And his team as well. 5 wins out of 5 here in front of the home fans. And they're savouring every moment of this precious victory against the team that's pushed him and them all the way in these last few exciting years. That then the weekend complete. Wolves making progress in their pursuit of Rob Edwards to be their next manager. Not done yet. Everton beat Fulham by 2-0.
What an effort from him! George Russell holds off Oscar Piastri to take 4th place. Piastri in that 10-second penalty, costing him dear on a bad weekend for the Australian. He's 5th. Meanwhile, it's all going on behind those. Ollie Behrman, great performance from him. 4th in Mexico, 6th here in Sao Paulo. Liam Lawson is currently in 7th, but he is dragging the rest of the field towards the line here. 7th place is there for Liam Lawson. Super performance and a one-stop strategy. He holds off his teammate Isaac Hadjar, who finishes 8th, Hulkenberg in 9th, Gasly 10th, ahead of Albon and Ocon, Sainz, Alonso, Colapinto, Stroll and Tsunoda. What a race winner. What a race in Sao Paulo. I need to sit down.
Tremendous, wasn't it? That was a thriller. This track, old school, the old school tracks always give us races like this, but Norris had it covered. They stayed calm at McLaren. He stayed calm out front. And as soon as Verstappen had to make that extra stop, then released them to a pretty comfortable victory.
Amazing job, mate. Amazing job. Whole weekend on it.
Yeah, well done. Nice race, well executed. Good job all weekend.
Hardly breathless.
Not quite a big enough gap for my liking, though, so definitely some things to look at. Let's keep it going. Thanks, guys.
Well, it wasn't the 30 seconds he won by in Mexico, it was just the 10 seconds today. But what's that, 2 poles, 2 victories on a sprint weekend, and he led practice as well. Not bad.
I think his point is that Verstappen's...
Yeah, boy! P2, mate.
Oh, my goodness. That was stressful.
Oh, my goodness, indeed.
I think Lando's point there is Verstappen's just 10 seconds behind him.
Yeah.
Having started from the pit lane, that's the that it wasn't a walk in the park, is what he's saying. And if Max had been where you'd normally expect him, sort of front 2 rows.
No, it's that's a really, really good race for us, and we at least try, you know.
Yeah, Verstappen was close. He had a new power unit in. If you want a new power unit to give you an advantage, here is the place to do it. But you're going to take the disadvantage of the pit lane starts on that one. It's a super performance from Max Verstappen and by Red Bull, who had the puncture as well as the pit lane start, but they called it perfectly in the race today.
So Lando then, 2 victories. Piastri didn't finish yesterday, 5th today. Verstappen didn't get those extra 3 points by passing Antonelli. It's really been a super strong weekend, hasn't it? If Lando Norris is able to become the world champion, this will be one of the turning points of his season.
We'll put it this way, we go to Vegas next for what is always a decent race and a thrilling race there. That man in your picture might feel that he's hit the jackpot already, because well, if he bet it all on reds here in Interlagos, it definitely came up papaya, and that's good enough for a result. It couldn't have gone much better for him this weekend. Will Vegas be McLaren's track? Will that be another, what Verstappen's in Vegas stays in Vegas? Will Mercedes have the pace there as well? We'll see under the lights on the Vegas Strip in a couple of weeks' time. And then we go to Qatar and Abu Dhabi, and McLaren certainly fancy their chances in those races.
So Liam Lawson and Isaac Hadjar collided, teammates. The stewards looked at it, and then they've decided no further investigation. They actually touched going into the first corner of the last lap. Did the 2 racing bulls. That got very personal between the 2 of them.
Lando fans in what is becoming a Lando stand, I think. And fair play, Ollie Bearman once again, back-to-back top 6 finishes. That's Haas's best ever Grand Prix finish in Interlagos too. He must have said some good words of advice on the pit wall when he spoke to him on Thursday.
I was very impressed listening to when I did that interview with him on Thursday. We played out yesterday. Just how calm and how aware he was of everything that's going on around him. And it's really beginning to show up, isn't it, for Ollie Bearman? That's a stellar performance again.
So in the Constructors' Championship, yeah, McLaren, who even before today had taken 30 podiums and led 706 laps, well, they extend their advantage. Mercedes now are, 32 points clear of Red Bull, who move into 3rd. Ferrari, with their 3rd no-scoring points Grand Prix of the season, dropped to 4th. There's a big difference in the prize money between 2nd and 4th. It's still a very tight battle there, but it's been a good weekend for Mercedes. Constructors Championship-wise, Ferrari have been that second team to McLaren this season, but they've dropped off. And Racing Bulls now 10 points clear of Aston Martin in 6th, 2 points clear of Haas, who are nipping at their heels, or Aston Martin, sorry, have Haas nipping at their heels, and Sauber 10 points behind Aston Martin down in 9th.
So Norris then is almost a race victory set of points ahead of his teammate Piastri, and he's almost 2 race victory points ahead of Max Verstappen. That's a handy advantage to be heading into these closing stages, isn't it?
It's like I say, 3 races to come, so 3 25 to 75 plus a sprint race. That's 83. Sorry, George Russell, you're now mathematically out of the World Championship contention. But with only 83 points up for grabs, and 49 points between Norris and Verstappen, all Verstappen's good work today, still is a big margin in that championship for him. Jolyon Palmer is going to talk to the top 3.
Welcome down to Parc Fermé. I think I've got 3 very happy drivers after an outstanding Sao Paulo Grand Prix. Lando, let's start with you. You look a little bit tired coming out of the car, but you didn't have to work too hard in that one, did you?
I did. I was pushing. An amazing race. Nice to win here in Brazil. It's an amazing track, amazing fans. So this one was for Gilles, one of my mentors growing up a couple of years ago. So this one was for him. I'm sure he'd be very proud about it all. So I was thinking of that while driving, but a perfect weekend. So.
Absolutely, an amazing weekend for you generally. I mean, things just seem to be clicking right now. Mexico, a big 30-second win. It wasn't quite 30 seconds today, but it always felt like you had it under control. How have you managed to find this rhythm at this stage of the season?
Just ignore everyone that talks crap about you. Just focus on yourself. And the team McLaren are doing an amazing job, giving me a great car. We're pushing hard every single weekend, and I'm pushing hard away from the track. So rewarding. It doesn't come easy, that's for sure. And to be honest, I don't think we're the quickest out there on track today, but glad to take home the win.
Absolutely. Well, fantastic job. Stay there because we're going to come back to you. But I want to bring in both of you two, if I can. Kimi, Max, what a finale at the end there. An amazing drive from both of you. Best ever result, Kimi. Max, 3rd place from the pit lane. But talk us through the finish, first of all, because it looked like it was almost going to be a drag to the line.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know where this guy came from, to be honest. I didn't see it coming, but I was, to be fair, I was lucky to come away with the restart, with the contact. Need to check with the car. It felt a bit weird afterwards, but still a good race. And the last lap were very stressful with with Max coming with fresher tire, but luckily with free air we were able to maintain a decent pace and to finish on P2.
And how do you stay cool? Because I'm sure of everyone in the mirrors seeing this guy behind is a difficult one to know. When he's come from the pit lane to be in 3rd, hunting you down for 2nd, you did a great job there, but how do you stay cool?
Yeah, I mean, I found my rhythm. Obviously, when it was closing in, I kept, I raised the pace. I started to push a bit more, and I found my rhythm. And obviously, with this car with dirty air, it's a bit difficult to follow. So I tried to use that into my advantage, and it paid off.
Well, a fantastic job and a best ever weekend and a best ever race. Well done, Kimi. Max, I bet when you woke up this morning, you weren't thinking you're going to be on the podium. You said you didn't mind if it was rain or dry today, and it's true. What an outstanding job. How did you make it happen?
Yeah, I think the race was quite full on, a lot of action. I had to overtake some cars, of course, coming from the pit lane, and I think our pace was quite strong over all the stints, because sometimes it's a bit difficult to know fully with traffic and stuff. But yeah, I mean, to be on the podium from the pit lane, I didn't expect that at all, even with a puncture as well in the beginning of the race. That's why we had to box again. So incredible result for us. Very happy with that, and just very proud of everyone within the team as well. I mean, yesterday was very tough for us, but we never give up. We always try to improve and try to find more lap time, and luckily we found that again today.
Yeah, you made the extra pit stop as well. It meant you had to go really attacking. How much balance did you have to judge whether to take the risk? Because you had to overtake so many cars, but of course you can't afford to crash into anyone either.
Yeah, I mean, just trying to pass as fast as possible as well, because you don't want to lose too much time, but then some cars are also in DRS trains. So was not always very straightforward. But I mean, with all that, to finish only like 10 seconds from the lead, I think for us is incredible.
Yeah, outstanding job. Go and enjoy the celebrations. Lando, coming back to you, I'm sure you don't want to hear it, but I've got to talk championship. There is no Oscar alongside you. The gap is now 24 points. There are 3 rounds to go. You're on great form. Do you start to think about it? Where's the mindset with 3 to go?
No, not at all. I mean, it's a great win, but to be honest, seeing how quick Max was today, it's pretty disappointed we weren't quicker. So that's where my mind's at the minute, is probably going to see the team, congratulate them, and see where we weren't quick enough. But that's me, and we'll see what we can do. Obviously, not a long way to go, but I can change so quickly, like we've seen today already. So just focus on myself, keep my head down, ignore everyone, and keep pushing.
Yeah, okay, well done. Go and celebrate first, Lando.
Thank you so much.
And we've got the Las Vegas Grand Prix coming up in a couple of weeks. Things getting close. You better tune in.
Yeah, it's not just the roulette wheels spinning in 2 weeks' time in Las Vegas. The charge is on to get underneath the podium and to cheer the top 3 drivers. And Lando dedicating that win to Gilles de Ferran, who we all miss, we all loved, and the paddock seems a quiet place without.
Supreme in IndyCar racing, and you'll notice Andrea Stella of McLaren always carries a Gilles de Ferran badge on his crash helmet badge. Yeah, because Gilles was very much a mentor to when Andrea was sort of getting up and running at McLaren.
Brazil P1 for Lando Norris. 6th from pole in the wet last year, runner-up of course in 2023. He's gone one better in 2025, in a season where he seems to be going one better ever since the summer break. The Zandvoort DNF aside, he just seems to have found another gear, if you'll pardon the cliche.
Yeah, it was. He's had two incidents really, hasn't he? The clash with his teammate running into Piastri in Canada, and then the oil pressure issue, motor issue in Zandvoort. But along the way, especially a season that's 24 races and 6 sprints, there'll be ebbs and flows, but he's definitely hit a rich seam of form, hasn't he?
For McLaren, their first victory in Interlagos since 2012. Jenson Button winning that weekend. Now, on the weekend where Jenson Button said goodbye to competitive motor racing as well. Don't you put your feet up for long, JB. We'll see you back with us on Sky F1. But what a career for Jenson, finishing off in the World Endurance Championship in Bahrain. But I'm sure he's been watching the action today, and he would have loved to have seen that race. He'd love to have been a part of it, I'm sure.
Yeah, as expected, Lando was a bit shocked to have Max only 10 seconds behind him.
Yeah, Senna looks on in the cool-down room. Let's hear from the drivers.
You beat the safety car, I guess, no?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I dropped like 4 places back again.
So